And thank you so much this morning for joining me with Breakfast with Bev. We're actually at one of our new listings at 2201 Country Lane, and this is a perfect example of our topic this morning, talking about the best things that you could do as far as improvements to your home, and also maybe some of the things that provide enjoyment to you, but maybe not so much to your pocketbook when it's time to sell. So one of the first things I kind of want to talk about with this listing and just in homes in general as far as best improvements is front curb appeal. The front door is always kind of the presence of your home where people enter your home and kind of judge what you have as far as the property that you live in and how you maintain it. And you know, it's one of those things where it really doesn't matter if you're looking to sell in the near future or if it's just a home that you've recently purchased and you're looking for your enjoyment factor and kind of questioning, what are the things should I do to my home? What are the things that would be nice to do to my home? And maybe what are the things that, you know, I really want to do it, but it just may not provide a dividend at the end. That's perfectly okay because it is your personal home. So one of the things I think is always great curb appeal, always keeping your lawn tidy, keeping up with your landscaping, pulling out dead bushes, keeping the front door painted or even maybe perhaps updating the front door, keeping the siding in good condition, and just a good overall power washing of the home and sidewalks and things to keep it fresh and lively. So let's take a peek inside, and I want to share some other comments that I think are some really good improvements that you will really enjoy and that will pay off as well. One of the things that I think is a great improvement as far as functionality, as far as showability, and just overall likability when it's time to sell is upgrading your flooring. A lot of people these days do not appreciate the carpet or even putting a new wall-to-wall carpet. A hard surface is something that people really enjoy. It's great if somebody is allergy prone, perhaps, if you have pets, if you have kids. It's something that's definitely more forgivable and definitely updates your home and keeps it more current. One of the biggies that has always been, I think, through the test of time is the best place to spend your money is in the kitchen and in the bathrooms. So basically, if you would have a hard surface floor as far as either tile or wood, upgrading to basically a solid surface countertop. These happen to be granite. You can use quartz. There's other options that are available that are certainly acceptable. Most people have come to know stainless steel appliances being kind of the in thing and kind of at the top of the trends. White cabinetry is certainly a timeless type of color as far as your cabinetry style. Certainly other colors are very acceptable as well. But I think it's just a matter of staying in touch of where to spend the money. People spend a lot of time in their kitchen. Maybe it's not so much cooking so much with the fast pace that we live and just the conveniences of deliveries and fast food and all of that, but it does still seem to be the central core of the home. Because when people come together, whether it's friends, family, whatever, it seems like the kitchen tends to be the heart of the home, and obviously it's also one of the most expensive to update. But here's the thing to kind of keep in mind. When a person buys a home, I think a lot of times you look at, can I afford the payment? Is it something that the utilities are within my budget to maintain? Is it within the school district that I want to be in, or the location or the lifestyle of being close to maybe neighborhood parks or recreation areas and such? But the other piece of owning a home, especially your personal home, is basically having a kitty set aside to do all the improvements and the updates that needs to be done. Because life happens, as we've talked about many times. Maybe you decide to take a job transfer that comes out of the blue, or you find a home that you'd really like to upgrade to at some point in time, or maybe somebody loses a job, or you just never know what might come up that would prompt you to sell your home. If you let all this deferred maintenance, so to speak, and updates stack up on you, it's very overwhelming to try to dig your way out and figure out, do you have the time and the means and the finances to get it up to speed at a moment's notice to put it on the market? Because most people that I work with always want the highest and most dollar possible that they can get. In order to do that, it does take picking projects along the way and maybe doing like a project or two a year and prioritize that on a list so that you know where's the most meaningful place to put your dollars, and then you also get to have the enjoyment factor along the way. Let's go check out the master bathroom, because that's another viable option where you need to spend your dollars and think about functionality as well. This seller, in my opinion, did an exceptional job with the space that they had available for the master bathroom. So they made certain that they updated the vanity. They did the gentleman's height, which is very popular and what most people desire. They did the double basin sink. They went with the nickel fixtures, which is actually a very timeless look. They did the frame mirrors, the 2 individual frame mirrors. And then they put in a really nice tiled shower that's glassed in, also has the handheld, has the rain tree, and it's very functional as far as having the built-in space to put your shower items in. They also updated the tile flooring. They didn't stick with just the traditional tile. They actually did the varying pattern, which keeps it more timeless and also just keeps it current and up to date. So from a use of space, I have to say these sellers did a fantastic job as far as making this very eye-appealing, functional, and keeping it very current for the market. The other piece of information that I think is always critical too, and I'm one that's very fond of color. So if anybody's been in my personal home, I've had a lot of color through the years just because that's kind of my personality. I am starting though to kind of switch my paint colors out, and I am starting to go a little bit more neutral, just for the fact that I think you can add a lot of punch and personality in your personal possessions and to kind of keep your walls a little bit more on the neutral side. Doesn't mean it's not your personal space and you can have lots of fun with it. I'm just thinking from a timeless factor, because as trends change, you're always going to be trying to chase the trends. And then you're always going to have to be repainting every couple years. It certainly adds to the expense. It's very inconvenient to basically take a room down and to repaint and put it all back together. So kind of think of it from the longevity wise, where you can add your personality through your possessions, your artwork, and things of that nature that can really make it a fun space and very enjoyable. There's also the piece that you have to consider is like outdoor spaces. There's some things that you can do in your yard, let's say, as far as a pool. I have an in-ground pool in my backyard. It actually came with my home when I purchased it. I know that that's something that I have to maintain to keep the value up, but it doesn't necessarily mean when I go to sell my home that somebody's going to find the value of having the pool in the backyard or enjoy it like my family does. So some things like that is probably not going to bring the return on the investment. Other things would be water features that are in your backyard. Those would be things that are very pretty, they look great, people really enjoy them. Are they going to pay you more for them? Probably not. They see it more as I have to maintain it, I have to keep up with it. It can be something that some people just opt not to even use anymore once they purchase the property. Another thing that I think is very value added to a home is your garage space. I know my husband and I just added on a 3rd car garage to our home about a year ago. And I have to say, I think from a resale standpoint, a 3-car garage versus a 2-car garage, or if you currently have a 1-car to upgrade to a 2-car, or if you just have a covered carport to upgrade to at least a 1-car, adding to your garage space, I think, is something that's also very functional, and it's also something that's very much desired, and it does add value to your home. The thing that I think people need to kind of consider is that land is precious. Land doesn't really go away. It's something that becomes more scarce in close-in proximities as far as people living their lifestyles and their jobs, routines, schools, shopping, etc. But the home, I think people automatically think that when I purchase, every year I'm going to get this certain percent of appreciation that's just going to be tacked on to what I purchased the home for, and that's not necessarily the case. And that's the whole reason of us doing this information piece this morning, is because homes don't always appreciate. Homes can very much depreciate more than what you actually can think. Keeping up with foundations as far as having moisture issues or roofing leaks or things like that, staying current with the property and keeping it to where everything functions as far as the furnace, the air conditioner, the hot water heater. There's lots of mechanical things that can go awry, and all of those need to be kept current in order for you to maintain your value. So really, when you purchase a home, it's one of those things that you bought it for the value it is today. In order for it to continue to appreciate, in my opinion, you're going to have to continue doing added value improvements to the property over time so that you at least maintain to keep stacked up with the competition, and then also to hopefully gain an appreciation in the end. Because new construction will always be out there. New construction will always be your biggest competition. Why should someone buy an older used home versus I could come over here and buy a brand new home and probably live in the home for a good 10 years and not have to do a whole lot of mechanical type improvements or updates? So think about that from a viability standpoint. Which option is better for you? And if you do choose to buy an existing home, which is an exceptional value the majority of the time, do you have the extra time, means, and money to do improvements along the way? So if you're interested in knowing about your home, what would be a good improvement or maybe a not so good improvement, give our team a call. We do lots of home assessments all year round. This happens to enter into our busy season in the fall, where we're actually pre-planning for folks that want to put their home on the market in the spring. We'd be happy to come out at no obligation just to tell you, this would be a really good improvement. You would do well on this. This not so much. You will enjoy this maybe, but don't expect a big fat return on it in the end. Those are the things that a realtor can analyze for you and help you determine if it's going to beef up your appraisal value or not. So if it's something that you have questions on, reach out to our team, Bev & Co. at Hauser Brokers Realty. We'd be happy to assist you with all your real estate needs. Thank you so much, guys, for joining in this morning. We greatly appreciate your time as always. Hope you have a wonderful week, a great weekend, and we'll see you next week. Take care.